Kwanza uongee na huyu mama. Alitolewa meno, hana meno.
Hello, what's up, y'all? Hey, this is your boy, Son the Wheel. Well, I pray and hope that this video reaches y'all in the best of health and in the best of spirit. Today is Friday, April 1st, 2022. Well, in this video today, I want to speak about the dire situation of our Ethiopian brothers and sisters who live and work in Saudi Arabia. As you guys might already know, thousands of Ethiopian young men and women flee Ethiopia every day and every year and migrate to reach countries within the Arab world, and they are search of better living conditions, better jobs, and better salaries, so that they can build a life for themselves or a future for themselves back in their country. You understand? So these people sometimes find themselves in a very, very difficult situations. Sometimes even ends up in a situations that can be termed or called slavery. You understand? So 2 years ago, or a year and a few months ago, the Saudi government decided to reduce the number of Ethiopian migrants living and working on its soil. So Saudi Arabia's government approached the Ethiopian government and gave the Ethiopian government a big ass amount of money in order to welcome it is hundreds of thousands of Ethiopian young men and women who works in Saudi Arabia. So as soon as the Ethiopian government agreed with this deal between it and the Saudi government, the Saudi authorities now embarked on a hunt for Ethiopian young men and women living and working down there in Ethiopia. So they would catch hundreds, you understand, on a daily basis and take them to different detention centers. They put the woman in their own detention center and put the men in their own detention center, you understand? And then afterwards put them in a charter flight and take them back to Ethiopia, you understand, to where they started from zero, you understand? So like a week ago, they deported a group of women, you understand? This group of women, when they reached Ethiopia, they spoke about their experience in Saudi Arabia, and their experience in particular in Saudi Arabian detention centers, where they have been detained for months in a very, very difficult and inhuman conditions before deporting them back to Ethiopia, regardless of their gender as women, you understand? And which I believe, if we're women of any other race, the whole world would have been alarmed. The whole world would have stood up on their feet and said, no, it didn't supposed to happen. So women don't supposed to get treated this way, you understand? But these are African women, they're Ethiopian women, you understand? That they don't get same care, you understand? Same gender, like a care, the special care other women gets. You understand? The Ethiopian women don't get that care because they are African women. You understand? So last week they deported I think around 200 plus Ethiopian women, young women, some with their children, back to Ethiopia. This woman gave interviews at the airport, you understand, which I'm going to read to you guys now. This was shared by Press TV of Iran. You understand? So I'm going to read to you now some of the declarations or the statements made by the deportees. So here we go. Saudi Arabian authorities have deported hundreds of Ethiopian migrant workers after keeping them for months in detention centers across the oil-rich kingdom under conditions so degrading that they amount to ill treatment.
Sasa kwanza uongee na huyu mama. Alitolewa meno, hana meno. Ndio huyo hana meno, alitolewa meno na kafiri wake. Sasa hana meno, ni mgonjwa pressure. Pia ako na shida yake. Ongea.
Ni shida yangu Nelson, ninahala na ninatapika damu na kafiri wangu anasema nimpatie pesa na si mimi alipea pesa, alipatia agent.
You see, they kept them under conditions that can be qualified as very ill treatment. According to a report published by the Arabic language news Al-Khalij news website, about 900 people, including many mothers with children, arrived at Addis Ababa Bole International Airport earlier this very week, the week we are in, like 2 or 3 days ago. These people, like around 900 people, were taken from Saudi Arabia, women, only women. 900 women were deported from Saudi Arabia to Ethiopia. They landed at the Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa. You understand? Most of the women were clad in abaya dresses, and some covered their faces with the niqab. Many of them carried their children either on their backs or in their hands, while they had their few belongings stuck in plastic bags and awaited in line as they got off the plane. The returnees were assisted, registered, and among other things provided with food, temporary accommodation, medical assistance, and counseling services. At the International Organization for Migration, IOM, said in a statement, the Ethiopian Foreign Ministry announced it will return about 100,000 of its citizens from Saudi Arabia within the next 7 to 11 months, under an agreement recently concluded between the two countries. So the Ethiopian Foreign Ministry has announced that the Ethiopian government plans to return back 100,000 Ethiopian young men and women who worked and lived in Saudi Arabia. And they will do this within the next 7 to 11 months. A 28 years old woman who goes by the name of Jamila Shafi, one of the 900 women who got deported from Saudi Arabia to their country, Ethiopia, just at the beginning of this week, just like 3 to 4 days ago. This 28 years old woman said, we returned to our blessed country after 6 months in prison, but many of our brothers are still suffering, especially in men's prisons. We cried every day. They gave us bread and a pot of cooked rice for 300 people. Sometimes they put up to 400 people in the same little room, and we couldn't see the light, the sunlight, for the past 6 months that we spent in the detention centers in Saudi Arabia before being deported to our country, Ethiopia. For the past 6 months, we didn't see a sunlight. Huh? Imagine this treatment of innocent young African women, innocent young Ethiopian women who didn't go to Saudi Arabia to rape, to kill, to steal, to do anything bad. Went there with their visas. You understand? In whatever way, who went there with their visas to work as housemaids for Saudi families. And then they end up caught in this political game being played between the Ethiopian government and the Saudi government. You understand? Imagine a woman. If these were a women of any other race, the whole world would have voiced their voices against it. Hollywood actors, European politicians, even the dumb African politicians would have voiced their voices against it. Since our African politicians only cry whenever the European leaders cry. You understand? They don't have a mind of their own. That's why we, the African people, are suffering despite the riches of our continent. We have stupid, backward leaders. You see. So if this were, like I was saying, if this were a woman of any other race, the whole world population would have been alarmed. You understand? The Me Too movement, women's rights movement, they would have all stood up and voiced their voice against it. Even if a woman committed a crime and jailed, they would stand up and voice their voice against it. You understand? And ask for more investigation. Imagine these Ethiopian women are just migrant workers who went there with their visas from their country to Saudi Arabia to work in Saudi homes as maids, and then who sadly got caught up in a political and economic game being played between the Ethiopian government and the Saudi government. You understand? You see. So for years, human rights organizations have denounced the conditions of detention of Ethiopian migrants in Saudi Arabia. You see, I mean, for years, the Ethiopians have been suffering these harsh detention conditions in Saudi Arabia. You understand? And the Ethiopian government said nothing about it. The Ethiopian government did nothing about it. And even this woman making these statements or denouncing the treatment of themselves and their brothers in Saudi detention centers will cause the Ethiopian government to do nothing about it. They will do nothing. They will say nothing about it. Like all other African governments, they do nothing when it comes to the suffer of with the African people. All that they care about is their own families, their close friends, and that's it. You understand? So I just came across this this news, man. I said to myself, let me try to share this with other Africans, to put in the knowledge of other Africans what our Ethiopian brothers and sisters are currently suffering in a political game that's being played between the Saudi government and the Ethiopian government and the Ethiopian authorities. You understand? Why do I call it political and economic game? Because I understand that many deportations, whether it's from the Saudi, whether it is from the Arab countries or European countries or from America or Asian countries, African governments, all they need is some money. You understand? Is to some money from the governments who want to reduce migrants in their countries for whatever reason. You understand? They approach different governments, and mostly it is only the African governments who accept that you take our people back. You understand? Whether it is America, Europe, or Asia, it's always the African governments who say, bring my people back. They take some money, and then you, the people, have to pay the price by being taken back to your country and start from zero and stay in the same difficult conditions. You understand? Hopeless lives that has in the first place pushed you to escape from your country and abandon your family to migrate to the Arab world or to America, to Europe, or to Asia. You understand? So we have come to the end of this video. I hope that you guys have learned one or two things from this video. And like I always tell you guys, remember to always subscribe to my YouTube channel. Support my YouTube channel by subscribing. Like my videos, comment on my videos, share your thoughts with me, and tell me the subjects you want me to talk about or to bring to light. You understand? And also remember to share my videos with your friends on your social media platforms. Let's make this channel an African news channel, you understand, an African educational or informational channel. So until next time, see you again. Peace out.